Peace, this is Tareck Adeeb, and today I would like to talk about rest. Now, it's interesting when we live in such a fast paced world how we can forget one of the most important aspects of life, and that is rest. It may, in some ways, seem like laziness or non productive, and certainly in some places, like in the West, when we have such a need and a desire to work, or we may feel guilty or shameful for not going for it, at such a fast pace. And all of these constraints or fear based or guilt ridden kind of like aspects in life, which we get taught, can really miss out on the beauty of rest. When we think about music, and I've said this before, it's always the space, and I call it the space in between, but the space, the quiet moments, is what really creates most presence or more value on the notes in the song. So when there are musical notes, i.e., if you were pressing on a note consistently, it'd be very abstract. There'd be no sense to the melody. You wouldn't have the space to really understand the melody or the harmony of a song. And it's exactly the same with our life. As an example, my dad was a really interesting man in the sense that, he would always value his sleep. And we could understand why people do certain things, with hindsight. He had a very stressful job. He was a doctor consultant, so therefore his pace, he was always on call. So any moment he could be woken up, and you can go even deeper into the reasons why. At certain points he'd say, "Right, that's it. I'm off to sleep now," or he would go, to sleep in at lunchtime, like have a cat nap or something like that. If you don't sleep, and it's very, very important, to sleep. Like people could say you need to drink water, you need to have social, all these various aspects of the hierarchy of needs, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But if you don't sleep, it's really, really bad for you. So again, rest is such an important thing. If you're going full on, let's say you're working hard 8 hours a day, or 10 hours or 12 hours or even more than that, then to be able to rest and have leisure time means that your longevity or your productivity may well be far more relevant and beneficial. Because again, it's a lifetime's journey. When you understand that your contribution on this planet has a certain symphony, a harmony, or a certain song that we leave behind, then you're always perfecting it. So again, when we put stress on ourselves, or we have a unprecedented ambition or motivation, there's nothing wrong with any of that. That's all a very healthy thing. But yeah, if we're not resting and we're not appreciating the time to consider, to think, to realize, reflect what we've done, then we're always working. And then suddenly, we come to a place where we have life crises that force us to rest. Like we may well get a terminal illness, or we have a life crisis that just completely derails, everything that we've been building, and it puts it in perspective. So it is so important to understand that, when we contribute on this planet, and then when we pass, ultimately we rest forever then, on the third dimensional plane, that is. But we don't want to put ourselves in stress or disease when we don't understand that rest is also part of the equation. So having time to work and to really focus on work, i.e. be productive and efficient, is a very important thing. But then also having the time to rest, reflect, to reconsider. This is what retrogrades are all about in astrology. It's very, very important then to do that, to reevaluate and to sort of look then at where we're going and is it the right direction? And if we don't spend time doing that, we can build a whole life for ourselves. And sadly, we can look at our lives when we have a life disaster or a crisis or even an illness. And then we look back and we go, was that the right thing? Was I doing the right thing? We don't want to get to that. So if we incorporate rest, if we sleep, it's one of the most important things to do for health, and do whatever it takes to sleep. If you have to have like a salt bath or a hypnotherapy, meditation, whatever it may take. And then once we get to the end of life, we could be at peace. We could look back and think we did with the best that we could. We could be happy. We could sleep well. We can rest well. And with that, be your way to show the way. Peace. Peace.